Hi! Do you like my new hair? Isn't it so relevant? It's really blonde. Okay, so weird. I think my phone's gonna fall. I couldn't make you a video last week because my phone kept falling down, and then I was gonna bring tape, and then I forgot. Isn't that funny? So I hope no one really does watch these, because I probably will get the police called on me, although I am watching the road. So what I wanted to say today is, yeah, I hope nobody watches this because they could take it the wrong way. So everybody's sick, right? Like everybody, I don't know if this is on where you're at, but like everybody here, so many people, not everybody, always and never, it's not good, but so many women are complaining about, right, like they're just not feeling good for years, and like going all these alternative doctors, you know, and all this stuff. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should go to functional medicine, right? Because I've had all this stuff. See, there goes my phone. I should have waited until I got on the freeway, because now, hold on, I gotta get on the freeway and then it'll be fine. I think these are gonna go viral and I'm gonna get arrested. Okay, so then I was like, well, maybe I should go to functional medicine, right? Obviously Western medicine isn't treating me well and blah 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 blah. And then I always get nervous, and this time I got really nervous because I was like, let me put the steering wheel down. You know, you go to these doctors and they all like have a thing, right? So, and then I was talking to a friend, I won't say her name, and she's like, I have Lyme. And I was like, so do you like have, oh shit. Oh, now I'm swearing on my, do you have Lyme? Or like, do you have real Lyme, or do you have like fake Lyme? And I was like, don't be offended that I'm saying this, but I feel like people go to functional medicine doctors and they always have like their thing, right? Like leaky gut, or Lyme is the big one right now. Leaky gut was the big one last year. You know, bacteria overgrowth was a big one in the last couple years. Epstein-Barr is a big one right now. So I'm afraid to like go to someone, because it seems like sometimes you go to these doctors and they're like, if Lyme is their thing, like you have Lyme, but you don't really test for it. Anyway, I'm not going to argue with people who think they have or do have those things. I'm not saying they don't, but I was like worried because I've spent hundreds, probably at least thousands, at least hundreds of dollars on all kinds of crazy tests, blood tests, poop tests, neurological dopamine tests that was supposed to tell me what antidepressants I could take, and I spent a couple $100s on that, and it was wrong. The ones like that it said I could take, I can't take. They make me crazy. So like it's really frustrating. And then so I look at these friends and I'm like, so you've been going to these functional, this is so lame. You've been going to these functional medicine doctors for 7 years, 10 years, and like you still feel horrible. So what, like, why would I go to that doctor? It doesn't really empirically make any sense to me. So, you know, and that's fine, and they feel like that's their path, and that's totally fine. So that's one part of it. Now the other part of it is that, so I just posted this on Facebook, but I don't think you're on Facebook. I looked up stress. And so if you look up stress, Google it, like every single symptom of every single disease, inflammation was a big one, you know, gluten is a big one, is listed under stress. So what you might, and maybe like we're all so stressed out that our bodies have broken down enough, because they say, right, when you take on too much stress, your body breaks down and starts being more susceptible to other things like anxiety, like depression, because you're breaking down all of your neurochemistry, right? And you're breaking down all of your immune system. So it could be that people do really have all these diseases now. Like people do have chronic fatigue, and people do have Epstein-Barr, and people do have, I know there's so many things I never even heard of. B deficits and, all this stuff because we're so stressed. Like, so I guess my whole thing is because I'm a type 5 is like, I always want to do like research and then go to the beginning. So like, what's the root problem? Because everybody always says that, well, it's not really your thyroid, it's this. Well, I think if we dial it back past everything, it's stress. And so it reminded me of when you said, how do you cultivate peace? Well, like, I think this is the whole answer, right? Like, for me, I think it's the whole thing, like, I need to be focusing on, like, what, and I talked about this in one of them, like, what is the stress? And so anyway, so then to bring it all to a head, this model, so I volunteer at the coffee house, right? And the coffee house is just a coffee house. Okay, they don't do anything else. It's all about redemptive relationships. It's all about relationships. Relationships are healing. Ryan will not, I don't know, say if he will not, but they don't provide any other auxiliary services. And he just wrote this article that, kind of like now I'm going into kind of the homeless world as a model, but like the pressure of auxiliary services, like that we're like pushers, that we like have to push all this stuff on people, and then it's intrusive. Like if you go to a place for help, like there's so many other things getting pushed on you there, like food and clothing and programming and classes and resume writing and blah 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 blah, right? And we think like programming's good. Like I think programming's good. Obviously I do an art program, but at the coffee house it's like all about having coffee and healing through relationships. Like and there is he doesn't keep score on any of this, right? He doesn't keep tabs. Like there's no outcomes, so it's hard to get funding because it's hard to convince people, like, well, and he's like, I think he's a genius, really. I love the coffee house and everything it stands for, and it's a big roar now. And Merton, he studied like all of that contemplative stuff, right? So he's just all into the contemplative, but like what is a measure of when someone's better? Is it because he was sort of like, they're coming back and they're my friend. So does that mean their life is better? Yeah. Are they still homeless? Yeah. So it was really interesting to talk to him, but it just made me think of like life, like it's its own micro example of life, and how we have all these extraneous things, and society says we have to have all these extraneous things when all we really need to have is a job. And to survive, right? To buy food and all that stuff. And then like we really add on all these other stressors that are breaking down our bodies, and it's looking like, we have all these diseases, when in my mind it's like I finally believe that like we can heal ourselves. We do have the power to do that. So I think for me, the yoga psychology, it really speaks to me, and I really believe in the breath work, and in reworking your parasympathetic nervous system. And in doing that, like everything kind of starts to come back into alignment, like your nervous system and your immune system and your brain functioning and your brain neurochemicals. And it can be very scientific, but then it also can be really simple, like we breathe, like we're born to breathe. So I think when they say that, like meditation, and the monks and all these studies about meditation and how it literally changes your brain chemistry. Well, it's not that I didn't believe that before. I guess it's just that I wasn't practicing it, and I didn't realize like that you don't have to practice it in a Buddhist framework either. Like there's so much secular work available. You don't have to go to yoga. Like yoga is really great. I'm not knocking it because I think the body movement with the breath is really important, but like, and you also don't have to be like a monk. Like you can be Catholic and you can do like Catholic things that are healing. And I love that tree, the contemplative practices tree, because I think the more contemplative practices that we have in our life, the more healing is going to happen, and the more stress we can reduce, and the more grounded we can feel, and the more in the present moment we can be. Somebody said on one of the posts I put that, like, you know, I mean, I did say like suffering is part of the human condition. You're not gonna get away from suffering. It's like how you deal with suffering. You know, Amy Weintraub talked a lot about that, like stuffing it versus dealing with it. Or maybe it wasn't even her. I went to this therapy thing. So, you know, everybody knows that if you stuff it, it's just going to manifest somewhere else. And I think it is, for me, has always been, right? Like trauma that's not healed, trauma that hasn't grown up, maybe for me, but I don't need to go into my own whole story. But so I don't know. I think that this Amy Weintraub and the Yoga for Depression is a great start. I think everybody has to find, like I was doing, you know, I was trying to do Tommy Rosen, and the whole Kundalini thing just didn't speak to me because it's pretty Hindu. And that's fine, but I just didn't want to do that. And I think I've talked about that before. So anyway, that's my spiel for today. I really, really, really want to find this meditation for you. It's called the bliss meditation, and it's like a chakra, like breathing in through your crown and out through your different chakras. And it's so, I mean, it's so grounding, but like how Amy says, like everybody's different. So I did this thing with Abby today. I wish I could do it, but like you cover all your, you've probably done this being that you are a yoga teacher, cover all this, plug your ears, do this thing, and it sounds like a swarm of bees, right? Or like in your head. And to me, I was like, I thought it felt so amazing. They say it's kind of like replicates the womb. And Abby was like, oh, like that. You know, I didn't like that at all. So it's interesting. And then there's also, you know, and I've learned this through Tommy and through Ashley Turner and through Amy Weintraub, is there, you know, there's also a lot of specific yoga for depression and for anxiety. And I think I talked about this before, like, you know, bringing fire as opposed to water and air. But when I do with Abby in the morning now, and then there, you know, because there's all these rejuvenating, because my hair just looks so weird, practices, like, so it's inhale 2, rum. I'm at a stoplight. But rum. So I don't think you need to make that face, but that is just so I can show you you're inhaling 2, inhale. But, and Tommy has a lot of these too, the Kundalini. There's a lot of these like energy producing breath work you can do. And I just think it's, first of all, it's just really funny to do it with Abby because she thinks I'm crazy, and maybe that just makes her laugh in the morning. But some of these, especially the twisting, like you probably know that too, you know, getting that liver all cleared out and like getting the energy flowing. I mean, even if you do freaking jumping jacks, I bet that would work, right? Just to get up and, but even just, I swear we do that for like 30 seconds, and just the funniness of it, and I don't know, it kind of helps. But I'm also in a good place right now, so it's difficult because it's like, well, am I just in a good place, or are these things really doing something? I don't know. I'm working a lot on relaxation stuff, and I feel like it's helping. But okay, I'm at Walmart, baby. Gots to go. Hope nobody else watches the video. Love you. I'll see you this week, and I'll try to get you some more practices. I'm trying to find the right ones. And then you really just have to start going through them, because that's a big thing that Amy talks about is, yeah, like I said, you just have to like see which ones work for you. And if you want to do those, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's just not your jam. I really believe in it right now. I think it's, yeah, scientifically based, yoga, meditation. It's like proven, right? Sleep, nutrition. What do you think? Sweet? Okay, I gotta go buy some markers. Oh, we're gonna maybe do rocks, but today we're doing like advocacy day. I'm doing all this stuff. I hope it works. It could totally bomb, but I'll post it because I think we're gonna write letters to the governor, because I want people to feel like they matter, because they can't really vote, you know, probably some of them. Anyway, now I'm babbling. Love you. Adios.